The Rainy Night Terror, Midnight Caller. On a rainy winter evening, young Austin finds himself alone in his cozy home, eagerly embracing the freedom bestowed by his absent parents. Little does he know, this night of liberation will quickly spiral into a chilling tale of suspense and terror. Let's start story. Freedom! So cried Austin, the boy whose parents had gone one rainy winter evening to finish important work in a nearby town and told him they would be back the next morning. Austin began celebrating his happy evening and ate whatever he liked and did not stop playing video games until sunset. His black cat was sitting on the ground, falling into a deep sleep. 4 hours have passed since the parents left, and the clock indicates 7 in the evening. As soon as Austin got bored of video games while they were turning off the device, the home phone rang. Thinking that the call was from his parents, the boy picked up the phone, and that's what he heard. "Hey Austin, how are you? I'll be here in a few minutes. That's it. See you later." It's Uncle Anthony's voice. The boy understood that his parents asked Uncle Anthony, their lonely relative, to come and spend the night with Austin. The boy resented and felt indignant. He was annoyed by his mother, who he thought did not trust him, especially since she did not tell him about it. His happiness evaporated on Freedom Night, and he sat quietly waiting for Uncle Anthony, while his cat climbed his feet and petted him. 15 minutes passed, and Uncle Anthony did not arrive. It seems that he was disrupted by rain and snow. The phone rang again. Austin turned to him and picked up the phone. "Hi, Austin. How are you? I will be here in a few minutes. That's it. See you later." Austin tried to speak, but the line closed again. He was very surprised and called Uncle Anthony by cell phone. But he did not answer. The boy did not think much about it and went to the kitchen to eat dinner that his mother left him. He finished his food and looked at the clock to find it indicating 8 in the evening. Austin began to worry about Uncle Anthony and was considering calling his parents to tell them about it. He turned on the TV in a low voice and sat down eating some candy and caressing his cat's fur. A few minutes later, the bell rang. "Surely it is Uncle Anthony." He walked towards the door, but Uncle Anthony rang the bell a second and third time, which raised the boy's astonishment. And here the phone in the corridor leading to the door rang, and Austin picked up the phone and heard the following. "Hi, Austin. How are you? I'll be here in a few minutes. That's it. See you later." The same voice and the same talk. Austin was stunned. He felt as if his heart was going to get out of his place. He looked at the door of the house with his eyes open to the extreme, and the knocking was getting stronger and stronger. He didn't feel himself until he climbed the stairs, stumbling and running towards his room with his cat following him. He grabbed his cell phone and called Uncle Anthony, but received no answer. His parents were busy and their phones were switched off, and the knocking on the door did not stop, and Austin had no other solution but to resort to the police. He picked up his phone with trembling hands and called the emergency department and explained the situation, but they told him that it would take a while for them to arrive due to bad weather. They asked him to hide and tried to keep him on the line, but the panicked boy ended the call and hid behind his bed and his cat with him. The road stopped and silence prevailed in the place. The house was dark except for the living room, and no sound except the low sound of television with Austin's rapid breath and his black cat in his lap yawning and lying unaware of the seriousness of the situation. Suddenly, the cat stared at Austin in a suspicious way, her pupils dilated in the dark. She was looking at his face steadily and meowing in a weak and gentle voice, which prompted him to try to silence her in every way possible until she returned to her normal position, seconds later. 30 minutes passed like an eternity, and Austin heard the sound of police cars approaching the scene and felt very comfortable. Moments later, 4 policemen broke into the house and went up to all the rooms until they reached Austin's room. The policeman was talking loudly, as if something serious had happened. He was calling the boy with confusion and anxiety. Austin screamed from his place until 2 policemen heard him and entered the room. The policeman asked him if he was okay and then ordered him to leave the house so that they could search the place and ask for reinforcements. So one of the policemen gave him a cold coat and then took him outside. An hour later, an ambulance arrived home, and a fainted man was taken out, and they found him among the bushes in the garden. It's Uncle Anthony. His head was stained with blood and moving with difficulty. Shocked, Austin entered the house to find the policeman smiling and telling him, "Austin, you're lucky." Then he told him the truth that made him refuse to stay alone in the house for the rest of his life. Someone broke into the house, ate food, stole some things, and wandered most rooms, and attacked Uncle Anthony for using his phone to trick Austin. The unknown intruder knew Uncle Anthony's visit to Austin, and also knew details about the house that enabled him to enter anonymously without leaving any trace behind except footprints, and he asked the policeman Austin if he was hiding under his bed or in the closet, because the footprints extend up to the bed. The boy was looking in amazement in front of him. He saw his cat lying on the opposite sofa. She was looking at him innocently and licking her hand, looking at her eyes staring at him, and remembering that moment when he was hiding behind his bed and his cat was looking into his eyes. I realized the truth. His black cat wasn't looking into his eyes. No, not at all. Rather, she was looking at the face behind him.